is how to read the land, because you have to know what the land can give you back. So you don't, I'll make a pretty simple analogy. If you live in Florida, you can grow oranges because it's a temperate climate and the soil conditions are conducive to growing oranges. If you live in Oklahoma, you're not going to grow oranges. But there's other things you can grow in Oklahoma. I live in Virginia. I can't grow oranges here unless I go to put them under glass or plastic and create this whole artificial environment. That's working against nature. So you learn to read the land so you can learn to work in concert with it. Don't waste your time trying to change it to make it something that it's not. I'm not going to flood my farm to grow rice. Not going to happen. But I can grow damn good sweet potatoes. The person who can grow rice can't grow sweet potatoes because they're not mutually conducive habitats. They require different environments. So you just have to learn how to read the land and see what it can do. If you're on flat open land, it's more conducive to growing field crops: wheat, corn, soy, barley, teff,
Industrial hemp.
all of that stuff. Well, industrial hemp for sure, that's coming, but that's what it would be good for. If you're in rolling hills, you might want to consider more like grapes or like mixed farming, like using small hoof stock. I use goats because they can pretty much go anywhere. But I wouldn't try to do corn on a large scale on my farm because I don't have the land for it. I need flat land because the harvesting requires, for any economy of scale, you're going to need some kind of mechanical harvesters to make it worth your time. Or else you're going to need a lot of friends who don't mind working hard with hand tools. Hard to find those people these days. You know, it used to be free labor. Those days are gone. So you have to learn to read the land to decide what you can grow. If it grows pine trees, it's not going to grow oranges. If it grows oranges, probably not going to be the best for pines. You learn those things. So it's very important to read the land so you don't waste time and money trying to convert it into something that nature never intended for it to do. So nature dictates what the land can reasonably do for you, easily. Anytime you're wasting energy fighting nature, trying to convert land, you're wasting time and money. Too much time and money. But learning to read the land is very important. So you don't want to, if you go buy land, always keep an idea of what you would like to do with it, and don't buy land that doesn't lend itself to it. For example, if you want to raise livestock, it's good to start with land that's already open because it saves you time and money. You're going to pay more for it initially because somebody went to the trouble to open it. But if you're going to raise livestock, you already have an open area in which to begin to create the type of pasture, habitat, forage base that they need, depending on the species. Some need grass, some need forbs, some need bush, some need other stuff. Depends on what you raise. But that's why I like goats, because basically if you just run a fence line and they can come in and pretty much open up that land and help you clear it, open it up, while they're making money for you, while they're fertilizing the land. So goats, that's why goats are so universally popular. Homestead, what should we do? Well, first thing is, what do you think you would like to do? You know, because if you haven't done it before, you really don't know if you like it. So I always say, what do you think you would like? Do you like poultry? Are you okay with raising chickens? If you can't stand birds, you probably shouldn't try raising chickens. You know, if you want to raise cattle, but you don't want to raise pigs, well, then raise cattle and leave the pigs alone. You know, but you want to find a friend who raises pigs and maybe you can trade. Exactly. You've got to learn how to barter and create a different model. Some people want to raise everything. You know, one lady, she started pretty much she called it a farm. I call it a zoo. She started collecting a little bit of everything, but I knew that it wasn't going to work. 2 years later, she's online trying to sell it all because it was a complete mess. It was a disaster. You know, you can't collect, well, I'm going to have 2 of this kind of sheep and 3 of this sheep and 3 of this and then 4 goats and a donkey and some geese, and whatever, a miniature camel. You get all this stuff together. There's no reason to have all of that stuff without a plan. So the only thing you end up with is an extensive feed bill, lots of housing issues, lots of medication issues, lots of vet bills, and no income generating source. Not smart. So it's a big difference in a hobby farm and something that actually provides subsistence and a vocation. Depends on what you want. Now then there's other people who are on the other side of the spectrum. They're going to be homesteaders and homesteaders only, and they're only going to grow what they're going to consume. Then in that case you can really have more diversity because you're going to grow limited amounts of whatever. You might have a flock of a half a dozen chickens to supply your family's needs. You might have, 1 or 2 cows and supply your family needs, or whatever. You're just going to grow what you need. Put in 20 fruit trees, 3 nut trees, half a dozen berry bushes, and you're done, pretty much. And you just manage that well so you can always have it in a sustainable mode. So every year you've got something to eat. Yeah.